So this video is only estimated to be about 8.5 minutes long because we just want to get those mid-roll straight out of here. We don't do that double ad garbage only when sometimes we talk about things that matter. So we're talking to you about stuff that people care about, like why manual cars seem to be just dying. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little bell button so we can make more videos like this, and let's get into it. I'm done yelling. I don't yell. I'm a calm, contained, okay looking dude that doesn't yell. Maintain the composure is the most important part of the day. So anyway, back in the day, let's say the 70s, about 25% of all automobile purchases were done knowing it would come with a manual transmission, which is pretty good. You know, for those that don't do math, that's 1 in 4. That was a pretty good chance that you were gonna go buy a manual transmission, and as time progressed, that percentage went down. And that was back then, though manual transmissions weren't necessarily purchased for the sake of just sport. That's something to keep in mind because they were actually meant to keep costs down. Manual transmissions were more of an entry-level model price versus the automatics were an optional upgrade that a lot of people could essentially go to if they had a little extra dough in the pocket. Now, if we bring it up to the good old days of the early 2010s, the birth of proper memes, social media boom, and Netflix finally starting to realize that DVD rentals just weren't gonna be the future, that percentage really dwindled down to about 2 to 3%. It was so much so that a lot of people actually started to realize or would become surprised that some of those entry-level cars that they had become known or used to came with a manual transmission. And it has not been a very good life for manual cars in the world right now. Even high-performance cars were like, nah, bud. You could see it with the early Ferraris beginning to opt to their F1 automatic transmission, their little flappy paddles. You could see Lamborghini just simply not offer it anymore in platforms like the Huracan, as they prefer to just force you down the Doppia Frizione. I probably said that wrong. It's their automatic transmission that's not automatic, but whatever. GTRs didn't want to offer it, AMGs didn't trust you with it, and Lexus doesn't even want to have to deal with it, and even Porsche has shown hesitation in some of their lineups to give you that like 6-speed goodness that everybody seems to love. That are automotive enthusiasts, which are people like you and people like me. But you see, gang, and I hate to say it, but car manufacturers that come in the exclusive high-end automatic transmissions don't really care about manual transmissions. And I know that hurts. It hurts. Doug DeMuro said it best. He said, "What I have learned about people who spend $100,000 on luxury sedans is the following. They don't like shifting their own gears." Now, one could argue that's something different for the GTR, maybe even the entry-level Huracan, as the younger enthusiasts find themselves picking one up right after they've managed to save enough money and probably sell their Subaru STI for way too much money. But really, automatic transmissions in some of those entry-level high-performance sports cars help keep costs down. What it doesn't allow people to do is offer different types of transmissions and things like that could go wrong. You don't have to worry about any sort of reliability issues or problems with certain platforms. It's cost effective, essentially. And Nissan was one of the people that really nailed it down almost to a T. The GTR had no manual transmission. The manual transmission would increase prices and production and reliability, and so they just opted to not have it altogether. And while it does catch a lot of flack for not offering it, you don't see people not buying GTRs because they don't come in a manual transmission. Even after all of that, when we talk about manual transmissions, enthusiasts do have a tendency to get pretty feisty that the automatic transmissions are like groggy, slow, confused people like me before coffee on a Tuesday morning. And in the past, that would be true. There is some truth to it. If you've ever driven an older AMG without an ECU or a TCU tune, you would know exactly what I'm talking about because the car just does not want to shift. It does not want to go past 4,000 RPMs. It doesn't want to have fun. And there are some other cars that are like that as well, and it is slower than molasses. But that is something that is pretty much in the past. A lot of the newer automatic transmissions or slapsticks or flappy paddles, as we like to call them, they're not slow anymore. Times have changed and the future is now, old man. Automatic transmissions these days have all sorts of tech. It allows you to rev match. It allows you to do launch control at certain RPMs. It's paired with certain sort of gear launches. You can tune your TCU. You can tune everything about it. And honestly, automatic transmissions are just coming to light in a whole new way that makes the car better than if a driver was using a manual transmission anyway. Now, I know that's something that a lot of people don't like to hear, and for people that enjoy driving cars, they don't want a car to do it better than them. For the most part, manual transmissions are fun, and automatic transmissions are inherently getting better and faster than a lot of their human counterparts, and unfortunately that's just a fact of life, and they do have a tendency to fade away. Manual transmissions are a great and fantastic way to stay connected to the car that you're driving. They're just not as efficient, they're not as common, and they aren't as fast. They're growing out of style, and even with enthusiasts trying to cause a bunch of humbug about it, making noise, it's not enough for the millions and millions of dollars of auto manufacturers investing into these new cars to keep manuals around. In fact, they just really, none of them care a whole lot. I'm sorry. There are still a few brands out there that keep the 6-speed gated transmission as their glory to the back traditional old days of having it, but make no mistake that those brands are doing it not because they have to, but because they want to show you that they still care. Manual transmissions are a blast, whether it's a basic 5-speed, a standard 6-speed, or even a gated 6-speed. There's just something about it that's an absolute blast. Each transmission has its own pros and cons, regardless on if you're going with an automatic or a manual, and it's depending on what you're looking to get out of the car that you're rolling around with. So what do you guys have? Automatic or transmission? You can drop a comment below, let us know what you think about the topic, and of course, if you want to drop in some more topics for us to talk about, that would be absolutely awesome. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, and if you're looking for wheels, tires, suspension, you can check out fitmentindustries.com. We also have a massive gallery that we're trying to get more cars added to, so if you guys have an aftermarket car and you like shoutouts on Instagram, head on over to fitmentindustries.com, add your car to our gallery, and we'll shout you out on Instagram. Plus, it helps us with like fitment stuff and all that sort of cool stuff. Plus, you get to brag because your car gets shout out on social media. That's cool. That's our sales plug. It's how we survive. All right? I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. We will see you later. Peace.